Here is a testimonial for the highest paid part-time job in the world from Katrina Alexander.
So I'm approaching 3 years in this academy. All of my accounts have increased trading, investments, business, and personal accounts. This academy can produce results in all areas of your life when you do the work. Yes, you have to work on your psychology and mindset to get the results.
Thanks for watching the video. Really quickly want to talk to you about managing capital. And the mistakes, or some of the mistakes that I've made managing capital. I'm going to give you a direct example from my own life, giving you scenes in the movie, not giving you the whole movie. But the goal of this is to help you understand that we can make mistakes with capital. And it doesn't mean that you're going to continue to own that mistake the rest of your life. It's something that you have to learn from and move on. So what happened to me recently was that my automobile got into a car accident. And I knew as soon as it happened, it was going to get totaled. No reason for me to give you the point-by-point story. It's not that type of channel. But I was driving down the street, car got into an accident. The guy that hit me, he was at fault. However, because of the age of my vehicle was 21 years old. And what happened, the way my vehicle got hit, I knew my vehicle was going to get totaled out. And so what happens normally under 99% of the situations where if you get into a car accident and the insurance company feels like to repair your vehicle is greater than the value of your vehicle, what they'll do is they'll total it out. What they mean is that they will set a price on it and they'll say, we'll buy the vehicle from you at that price and we'll own the vehicle and you'll just get cashed out. Because we've taken it to a body repair shop and they've determined that to fix it is going to be way greater than the actual value of the vehicle. This is very, very normal. It can be upsetting to some people, but it's just very normal. So the moment I got hit, I knew that was going to happen. And I was mentally preparing myself to get totaled out. So I put things in order for that particular, I would say possibility, but I felt like the probability was going to be very high. Insurance company took it to the body shop. They did their little review, whatever. Adjuster came back, said, yeah, we're going to total it out, which is what I expected them to do. And the moment I got hit, I realized, okay, I got to get a new car, because when I saw the damage to the car, I said, yeah, it's going to get totaled out. Because why? The age of the car. Had that car for 21 years. Drove really well. It was in great mechanical shape. And so that's one of the reasons why I kept it. Don't have any desire for a car payment. Really don't. I preferred to have a car that I owned, that was reliable. I knew it would drive. Now, here's a mistake I made with capital to get to the point of the video. Last year around the same time, I had the car painted. And that paint job cost a few $1,000s. And the reason why I had the car painted is because the paint job on it was really, really bad. It wasn't like it needed a little bit of work. It was really, really bad. The top of the car was really bad. It had rust showing on the front of the car. The bumpers are really, really faded. And you can drive a low-key car. However, especially in this environment that we're currently in inside the United States, if your car looks too bad, it can start to draw the wrong type of attention. Right? There's nothing wrong with driving like a low-key car, but sometimes if your car is too bad, it can draw the wrong type of attention. I made a decision to spend a few thousands to get the car painted. And getting a car painted is never going to be inexpensive because of the labor associated with painting a car. And this is one of the reasons why cars get totaled out after accidents, because the paint job would be greater sometimes than the value of the car, just getting a paint job on the car. Last year around the same time, got the paint job, was expecting to keep this car for a few more years. And then now about a year later, the car gets hit. What I know now, and I was talking to my dad about this the other day, and I was telling him about the accident, is what I probably should have done in retrospect. And we know hindsight is always 20/20. Is I probably should have taken those few $1,000s and put that together with some other money and just bought a newer car. Bought a 17 or 2018 car. That's probably what I should have done. As opposed to putting money into that car because it was cosmetic. But here's the thing about buying a used car. And people find this out the hard way, and I know this because I know how to buy cars really well. When you buy a used car, it can take time for you to figure out what's wrong with the car. If I'm driving an older car and I already know what's wrong with the car, I prefer that than going getting a used car and I don't know what's wrong with the car and now it has to come out over time. And even if you take it to a mechanic, which I do, to get it checked, it still would take time of you driving that car to figure out what's actually going on with that car. Because even during the test drive, you can't drive it in every situation. And many people don't even think to do that. There's going to be situations that you can't cover. You don't know how that car drives after you've driven it for 3 or 4 hours straight. You don't know because you haven't done it yet. When you have a car that you're currently driving, you know what's going on with that car because why? You driving that car, you're familiar with it. Therefore, I was never in a rush to take on another used car without me really understanding what's really going on with that car. And I do not believe in buying brand new cars under any circumstance. I don't believe in buying something within the first year to 2 years, I lose 25% of the value. I just don't believe in that. Everybody's different, but I'm not a fan of buying something and within the 1 to 2 years, it depreciates about 25%. Just not a fan of it. Therefore, I just needed to get in a position to where I could do my due diligence on another used car, and I just wasn't in a rush to do it. But knowing what I know now, I would have had made the time. So I won't make that mistake again. Driving an older car. Let's say I'm in a scenario where I'm driving an older car and I need some cosmetic work like a paint job, and it's starting to get bad. That means it's time to take the time to do the due diligence on another used car, as opposed to let me get that car painted. That could work if, let's say I had it in the garage somewhere and I only took it out on certain occasions, then it could work. But for me to have it as my daily driver, it just wasn't a good use of capital. And you can learn these things. And so again, we're not gonna sit in here and talk about other people. We're not gonna talk about boundaries. We're not gonna say I allowed myself to do something. We're not gonna talk about what another person did this and that's why I did. We're not gonna do any of that. I did not appraise the situation properly. Therefore, I was not able to execute on the situation properly. What I should have done now, and I understand that, is taking that money, put the money that I was gonna spend on the paint job, put that together with some more money, and then just take the time to do the due diligence on finding another used car. There's a large amount of used car inventory in the city that I stay in. You just gotta take the time to go through the cars. It's not like there's a shortage of cars. You just gotta take the time to go through the cars. And that may mean you have to ride to the other side of the city to go look at a car. You just gotta take the time to do it. And so when you're managing capital, you can make mistakes. You could have scenarios where you say, you know what, I could have used that money better in another situation. The thing is, do you learn from it? And then how do you apply it to your next scenario? If you're always looking for somebody else to blame, if you're doing what's commonly done on the internet where it's always going to be somebody else's fault of why you did what you did. If you want to use the latest little catchphrase of the day, the used car dealer was a narcissist. That's why I bought the car. Like, if you want to engage in these things, you're never going to learn how to actually improve your behavior as a manager of capital. You got to look at what you did, say, hey, here's why I made a mistake. Look at this situation properly. Maybe here's why I did not execute on the situation properly. And so then here's the things that I can do to improve myself when I go through the situation again, so I don't just hamster wheel on the same type of situation. And so one of my biggest challenges was that every car I had before this one, it broke down because of mechanical failure. It was never a cosmetic issue. Every used car I had before the one I currently had, it was a mechanical failure issue where I had to get rid of the car because the car just broke down. It just, you get to the point to where the car is just always breaking down. It was a mechanical issue. Certain cars, especially American-based cars, you can get to a certain age of the car where you're just going to get massive parts failure. And unless you want to go through just essentially redoing and remodeling the whole car, it's just time to get rid of it. That happens a lot with American cars, especially older American cars. Not all of them, but some of them. And so because I had never been in this situation before to where the car drove good, but it just had some cosmetic issues, I didn't look at the situation properly. Now I know. And so that's what I want you to understand, is that even as somebody that tries to teach people how to manage capital, I still make mistakes and I still have things I can learn and improve on myself. So it's not like I'm talking to people from top of a mountain, I'm talking down to a bunch of people. Hope you got some value from it. David W. Williams, also known as a retail trader. Talk to you later.